Thank you for listening to the Midwest Horse Fair Outside the Arena podcast, where we share wonderful real-life stories and expert advice from the equine clinicians and entertainers from around the country who have been a part of the largest 3-day horse fair in the USA. Our first series will include several interviews conducted during the 2024 fair. This is Kelly Kenney, the Midwest Horse Fair Coliseum announcer, and we hope you'll all stick around and learn more about the fascinating lives of these experts outside the arena.
Thank you for joining Outside the Arena podcast, part 1 of 2, with 9 times NFR Barrelman and 8 times PRCA Comedy Act of the Year, John Harrison, and PRCA Pro Rodeo announcer, Kelly Kenney.
Welcome to the Midwest Horse Fair podcast. We are joined here today with our famous rodeo clown, John Harrison, and the voice of the Coliseum, Kelly Kenney. If you guys would just go ahead and start and talk about your background and where you come from and introduce yourself, kind of.
Well, we met in prison, in 98.
That was before I was born. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. No, I guess I come from southwest Missouri, a little town in the hills, and liked rodeo. My family didn't rodeo. I wanted to be a cowboy, I guess, so I found a way to be one. Surrounded myself with cowboys and ranchers and farmers, and learned the art, I guess. And I was always a big kid. And, wanted to bulldog, so I started steer wrestling and learned how to rope at a young age, and surrounded myself with really good ropers. So I learned how to rope pretty handy at a young age. Was as successful as I wanted to be. I didn't really want to pursue a career in it, but I won kind of everything. I won everything I wanted to win around there locally, and then started a band when I was in high school, and I've got a lot of different angles that I went. I was always around sports.
Yeah.
I was always crippled from rodeoing, so I couldn't really play basketball, but I enjoyed officiating. My oldest brother officiated, so I became a basketball referee and a baseball umpire, and I officiated sports for 15 or 20 years and went to college and rodeoed there, and officiated college basketball and baseball and rodeoed, and then while I was in high school started a band, so we played honky-tonks and dance halls and rodeoed and done the sports thing, so all that kind of meshed together. And in about 99, I was offered the head coach's job at Missouri Valley College in Marshall, Missouri. So when I took that, now I'm coaching and playing music and officiating and rodeoing and announcing rodeos. I was at a rodeo in 95 where the announcer didn't show up, and they said, your music background and your rodeo background, you have to do this, nobody else will. So I stepped up to the plate and swung away, and fast forward 30 years, here I are.
I have to know, though, what do you play in the band?
The bass.
Well, I actually started playing a bass guitar. Did that?
What's the big one that stands up? That's what I'm picturing.
It is a big upright bass.
It's a big, like the big bass. So
like a cello. You're thinking,
yeah, cello. That's what I picture Kelly playing. Sorry,
cello.
That's like jello, but a little harder to get hit with it.
Anyway,
that's prison food. Yeah, you would have had it back in '98.
Oh yeah. So anyway, I did play bass for several years, and then I kind of play a little bit of everything, but not really good. I didn't want to be a really good fiddle player, a really good lead guitar player. I just enjoyed the business. I love old country, like honky tonk type music, and that's what we did anyway. So now I've got a band that I play some still with in the winter when the rodeos slow down for me, and I'm just kind of the front man, play guitar, whatever. But in 95 when I announced that first rodeo, by chance, I was very reluctant, didn't want to do it, but nobody else would, so I did it. Got bit by the bug. I guess I was okay at it, enjoyed it, and 3 years later, I'm working 100 performances, and then that year of 99 and 2000, when I took the coach's job, I decided I'd announced all of the year-end finals of all the associations that I was a member of, and I'd kind of hit the ceiling, and the only other option to get better and progress was to become a member of the PRCA and try to work pro rodeos. So I made that choice, got my card approved in 2000, and I resigned from the college. I turned down all of my non-PRCA events, and I quit officiating, I quit playing music, I quit competing, I quit every single thing in my life except for God and my family. I quit everything else and got my PRCA card and went broke because I was making a really good living, and I fired myself from every job I had because I wanted the phone to be charged. Well, at that time, plugged in or whatever. I wanted the phone to be ready and my schedule to be open. And luckily, about 3 years into it, my phone started ringing, and been working about 75 to 100 performances a year ever since. And
so basically, what I heard is that you wasn't good at anything except announcing, so you eventually had to give the others up.
Yep.
Okay.
John, how about you?
I grew up in a
Tell them about all the stuff you're good at.
Yeah, let's go. We got time.
I grew up in the sport of rodeo. My grandfather was a world champion bull rider, and I was not tough enough to ride bulls. I didn't compete like Kelly did. I wish I would have. I tried riding steers and got thumped, and I was like, why would anybody want to do this? And I saw trick riding. I was like, man, this looks like fun. And I tried it, and I was just 6 years old, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And so I started off Roman riding, trick riding, got my card in PRCA in 1999, and then in 2002, same kind of deal that Kelly had. A guy didn't show up, and the rodeo clown was like, hey, you got to do it. I had a microphone from another act I was doing, and that's all she wrote.
And that's about the time him and I met. We didn't know each other from Adam, and we stumbled across each other at a rodeo about right around that 1, 2, 3 era somewhere. And
Kelly announced, so I put on a bull ride in honor of my grandpa, Freckles Brown, and he announced that event for 10 years. He'd come down to Southeast Oklahoma, and a lot of good times, a lot of memories made, hunting trips.
some things we can't.
Some things we probably can't share. What's legal in Oklahoma may not be legal up here, legal here. You know, same difference. But Kelly was always entertaining. Like so much fun to have. When we gave him these badges that are laying here, at one time he came into the house. We had badges for our event. He was so excited about getting a badge, and somehow or another we was filming this, and his on the slick floor at home, his sock and foot. He took his boots off the door. Sock and foot. Is that right?
Sock on the foot.
Sock on the foot. Sock feet. I don't know. We say that in Southeast Oklahoma. He's sock and footed.
Okay.
Anyway, so he sat there and he starts doing this like little dance with his feet, and I mean feet go up and butt comes down. And
on my shoulders for hit first.
It was great.
But I'm a ninja kind of. I mean, similar to a ninja.
Similar to a ninja.
So
yeah, you wear black too.
I bounced right back up there about 20, 30 minutes.
It was great. So he biffed it hard.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. You wouldn't bounce like that now.
I do remember that now that you brought it up.
So you both kind of chanced into your roles. You know, someone didn't show up. So you're naturally funny, or is this a learned thing as you've gone throughout the years?
Yeah, are you like this at home, like with your families, or is this an act? Like, how does that work?
I mean, I want to very humbly say this, I guess. One of the things that I pride myself in, and which is very few things, that we're not supposed to be prideful in a sense. But I guess one thing that I feel like has got John's got more year-end accolades and awards than any other entertainer in the business. I don't have a single one, which is fine with me. But what the favorite thing that I am the most proud of is that I've been able to provide for my family and have a successful career. And he'll say the same thing. The accolades are great, but they don't pay the bills. They don't help us raise our family. So with that, in that sense, I think what has allowed us to both be successful and the crowds enjoy what we do is because we are not scripted. We don't practice it. We're not cookie cutter. We're not a cookie cut at all. If that's how you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We just him and I are. I guess when we travel together in the same truck, we say the same stupid things there that we're saying now.
Okay.
And when we're sitting around a campfire having a cold one, we talk about the same stupid stuff. I guess we became very good friends right out of the gate. And I think that's one thing. We don't have reservations with each other.
Which makes true what he said right there is when the chemistry from a rodeo clown to an announcer, I have to change every weekend who I work with. And that is one thing about Kelly Kenney. Like, we're buds. And so if I step over the top of him, he knows I'm not intentionally trying to cut him off. And it makes you let your guard down and go have fun. And to be honest with you, the people that's buying tickets, they're not here to be educated. They come to have a good time. And that's where so many people miss it in our sport is they try to educate the people in the stands instead of going and just having a good time. And if you have fun, you're going to come back. I mean, that's how it works.
I think we try to educate them through entertainment. Let them learn what they want to learn. Let them take home what they want to take home with them. But we're not going to force feed them stats and historic facts. We're going to go through all that stuff. They're going to hear it and see it and feel it. So let them learn whatever they want to learn. We want them to come here and put all the political problems and their financial issues and their health issues and their personal family life issues and breakups and divorces and all the problems everybody has. We all got them. Let's put all those aside for just a couple hours and let's just laugh and have fun and not worry about all that other crap. So I think that's probably what makes it easy for us.
Back to your question, though, whether or not we're like this all the time. So my wife tells me or tells everybody pretty much that I could run through a wall and it would look like a cartoon just to cut out. Like I am that Jack Russell Terrier.
I'm picturing it
all the time, and it is annoying to my kids. Like they get sick of it. They're like, Dad, just chill,
Just calm down,
and
man.
I mean, like I'm not like on all the time, like sitting around the trailer and stuff. But like if we can have fun, like life, you live it once, have a good time. Why not? Why be grouchy?
Out of it. Yeah.
And the serenity prayer actually comes into play because there's things you can change and there's things you can't change. So if you can't change them, why dwell on them? Why worry?
Yeah,
move on.
So what I'm hearing is that it seems like who you are in the arena is very much just kind of who you are as a person. But how do you hone your craft and become better at what you do in the arena?
Well, I have a wife of 17 years that lets me know everything that I do in that arena that is wrong. She is quick to come out and be like, hey, I wouldn't have said that, or you said that wrong.
You wouldn't have stole that lady's purse.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
If she would have been strutting up that stairs with that nice purse, I would have took it. That's what I
makes for great content. We love it.
And that's what makes it fun for us is. But so when I come out of the arena, my wife, she's a great critic, and she will tell me. And usually, you get a feel off the crowd. If Kelly does an opening and it's not as responsive, he's probably like, I know what I did there. And same way with me. If something bombs, you don't use it again. And a lot of times, I'm saying stuff for the first time and hearing it too. And so you're like, oh gosh. And once you say it, you can't pull it back in. Like it's gone.
I think also on that same note, I don't want to speak for all other announcers and all other clowns and all other duos of clowns and announcer duos that are working together. But I'm going to venture to say, correct me if I'm wrong, I would say I think this is 100% accurate. We probably do the least amount of preparation for any rodeo, but a rodeo like this where there's 9,000 or 10,000 people, it's been sold out for weeks. Black house spotlights, pyrotechnics, and a sold out over the top enthusiastic crowd. I can about assure you with my life probably that there's no other duo, clown announcer duo. I'm not bragging. I'm not boasting about this. I'm just saying that's what happens when you have no reservations, a good solid relationship that you protect and defend. And if he does something I don't like, there's one person that'll hear about it, and it'll be him. Which we don't ever have to do that because I'm not that kind of person, nor is he, so we don't ever really cross the line. We never had to. But I'd say we're the only announcer-clown combination anywhere that would walk into that Coliseum with a sold-out crowd of that many people and never go over anything.
And not have nothing planned, because most people want to script everything.
We don't have any, because I know, I would bet my life on it, that he's going to bring something to the table that is high in quality, that people are going to like, and it's going to allow me to do my job. And he can go into that arena knowing, with zero preparation, zero, I'm talking about none. We do not discuss anything other than, hey, we're going to put your act like in this spot in the performance. End of the story. We don't talk about any of the stuff we do with the crowd or the timing. We literally never talk about it because he knows that I'm not going to set him up for failure in the timing world, nor am I worried to announce that he's going to set me up for the same type of situation. So I guess there's a lot of really good rodeo clowns out there, and there's some really, really high-level talented announcers out there besides him and I. I do think, if I was going to say one thing, I just think the confidence and the chemistry that we have, just because we were friends first probably, but we don't have to worry about this. We can truly almost put business aside and just go have fun, and there's nothing more contagious than laughter and having a good time.
It's
and
easy.
That's what we do.
It's easy to have fun when you have a crowd like y'all have at the Midwest Horse Fair, because this crowd right here, like I don't need material. You can look in the stands and find it. Someone's doing something, and that's where it's at. And Kelly don't know where I'm going half the time, and half the time I don't know where I'm going. I go to one side, I might see something, and then somebody else catches my eye.
Just like last night, I had a little note that said, we usually don't do birthdays because if you do one birthday, then tomorrow night you'll have 500 to do. So that's why we usually just, how many of you are having a birthday? It's not that we don't care. It's just people didn't come and buy a ticket to see who else is having a birthday. They come to that. So we just tried to knock that out. But just like last night, there's that gentleman up there in his 50s or something. And Joe had a birthday. I had a little note. Yeah, we'll have fun. Where are you, Joe? He's right there where he stood up. It's like, you know what? Hold on. Joe looks like he wants to have a little fun. So we played, whatever we played, John Denver's Country Boy or something, and old Farmer Joe broke it down up there. Just stuff like that.
Crowd loves it.
He didn't know it. He didn't even know I was going to do a birthday. I wasn't even sure I was going to have time to do the birthday thing. So that's the fun stuff that, I think the crowd loved it. I guarantee you who loved it the most was all the other men that were 50, 60, 70 years old.
Right. Yeah.
You'll be surprised. They don't ever get to see one of their type letting his hair down, So those are those spontaneous scenarios. There was a whole list of stuff last night that happened in the rodeo that I had no idea was going to happen. He didn't have no idea was going to happen, but we just get good
roll with it.
Just roll with it. You got to get good at hitting knuckleballs.
Yeah, I think we're pretty protective and we're pretty prideful of the rodeo here at Midwest Horse Fair. It sells out year after year, and they do a great job. And people have been searching for tickets online for months, trying to get those spots. And so it's a good thing that we have going. And so we appreciate that. Yeah, you can only find this duo and this crowd and these lights here at the Midwest Horse Fair.
Well, that's a good point, because I don't want to again sound like we're by any means bragging or boasting about our chemistry, because it's not just our chemistry.
It's everything together.
It's our
magnetic
chemistry that we get to bring here, and we get to add our seasoning to the steak. That's the steak.
I brag on this crowd all over the country, on the Cowboy Channel. I mean, everywhere we're at, because they'll ask me favorite rodeo. Just so many scenarios, like favorite rodeo. You come down to the horses and bulls, you coming down to the actual facility, or you come down to the crowd. I tell them all the time, my favorite place to rodeo is Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
and I hope the audience here, I hope they know that we don't. What does they say? You tell that to all the girls.
Yes.
No, we don't.
Yes.
I hope they know we're serious when I ride in that arena, and he does the same thing when he's in there. When we say there is not a rodeo audience any better anywhere, we mean that.
Yeah, maybe it's the Midwest nice. Who knows what it is? But we do it.
And that's a good point. I've worked the Spooner Rodeo, Spooner, Wisconsin, for 21 years, I believe. And that rodeo is electric. It's a whole different animal because it's outside.
Yes.
And it's not with another event. It's just a standalone. It's just a rodeo and a parade. That's all it is. So it's same business, same thing, but a completely different animal. But I've worked a lot of rodeos in Minnesota and Wisconsin. So has John, all of our 25 years or whatever. But the upper Midwest, I don't know where you'd go to find better fans. And that's what I've always said about the fans up here. This is my take on it. Is yes, they want to see a good quality rodeo, of course. Who doesn't? But they don't come to the rodeo necessarily as that being the priority. They're coming to the rodeo, A, planning to, and B, knowing that they're going to have fun. They don't care what it is exactly they see or do. They just know that they're coming to have fun, and they're planning to have fun. They're going to have fun no matter what happens. So you can't make that fail. You know what I mean? Yeah. For the most part, you can't fail as a fan or an audience. When everybody hears, they're just here to have fun. Yeah. They don't care what happens out there for the most part. Yeah, we like to see 90-point rides. Yeah, we like to see guys in big wrecks and buck off, and pretty girls and cool bulls and roping and all this other stuff that go in good act. We love to see all that. But the main priority is when they leave their house, they know that they're going to have fun. They don't care what happens. You can't defend that, or you can't avoid that. That's going to happen. Everybody's going to have a good time. So
yeah.
That's a wonderful insurance for us as entertainers, or us as whatever it is we do. It's good knowing when we come to this part of the country, but this one here is an exception.
The Midwest Horse Fair is proudly presented by the Wisconsin State Horse Council Incorporated for over 40 years. Net proceeds from the fair are used by the Wisconsin State Horse Council to promote the equine industry through leadership, education, service, and communication, as well as taking a proactive role in the future growth and development of the equine industry. Thanks again for listening to the Midwest Horse Fair Outside the Arena podcast, where we share stories from expert horse clinicians and entertainers. We hope that you enjoyed this episode and continue to tune in every month and learn about the lives and hear valuable advice from the folks we are proud to have join us at the fair. Learn more about the Midwest Horse Fair at midwesthorsefair.com.
It's not a horse show. It's a horse fair and you gotta be there. It's the great Midwest Horse Fair.